Hello everyone, my name is Tara Petty and I'm a nurse. I'm currently in the RN to BSN program at Grayson County College, and for my community health project I wanted to do how do we stop teenagers from vaping. We know that this is a huge issue in our country and especially in our state and our community, so I just wanted to focus my community health project on how do we best help the teenagers in our community to stop vaping. So a little bit about my targeted population. I chose the population of the Howell High School in Howell, Texas. So Howell is a relatively small community in Grayson County. It has about 3,500 people in population and about 435 students at the high school currently enrolled. So Howell is a very growing community. In fact, the last city council meeting that I went to in my community, they are expecting the population of Howell to triple in the next 10 years. So it is a very growing community. Some other statistics is that it is predominantly an English-speaking community, but there is a composition of race of 65% white, 23% Hispanic, and 4% African American. There is currently only one medical office building in Howell right now, and that is a dental office. That's a local dentist that's here. So the people that are in the community do have to travel into Sherman to Wilson & Jones or into Denison to Texas Medical Center to receive any sort of medical care. So when I was doing my windshield survey, I found, driving around town that it is a growing city. You can see houses are being built everywhere. Roads are being having construction on them to try to make them better and more accessible. We have a very active and involved community. You can tell that by any football game that you go to or any activity that they have downtown. Everyone always shows up. Everybody's there. Everybody knows everybody. So it is a very involved community. There are many churches that are in our community, as well as a senior center that's downtown. So there's a lot of activity that's going on in town. Some negatives that I found on my windshield survey was that, again, there's only one medical office, and that's a dental office in town. So the people that are here do have to travel outside of the community to be able to have medical care. Currently, what I've discovered when I went to the high school was there is no vaping or nicotine education that is currently being given to our students at the high school, which is my targeted population. We do have a large population of non-speaking residents and students, so that's going to come into play when I do some education later in my project. And I did go to the two convenience stores that we have in the city, and I found multiple advertisements for vaping and smoking. So I know that the kids are seeing these things and they're seeing it all around them. So that was a negative that I found in the town. So I couldn't find Howell, Texas specific statistics for health issues, but I did go by Grayson County versus or compared to the state of Texas. So those are listed here. Grayson County statistics, they have lung cancer is a little bit higher in our county at 48.4%, and the state of Texas is only 37.9%, so that is a little bit higher, and that is a little concerning. We also have a little bit lower of a stroke, but a higher rate of heart disease, and we like to eat our fried food and our fast food, and a lot of the restaurants that are locally in town do serve a lot of fried food and things like that, so I think that's kind of playing into that. So just some statistics that I found about vaping. It is the most common tobacco product used by students. I think it's because they can easily access it and it doesn't give them that smell of having smoked a cigarette, so maybe it's a little bit easier to hide from their parents and things like that. It is estimated that 1.6 million teenagers are using e-cigarettes, and that is a large statistic when you think about how many kids that is during that age. So why do teenagers vape? So I think it's a lot of advertisement. They see it on the videos that they watch. It's on TikTok. It's on music videos. And, they have a lot of social influences and things that they just see it everywhere. And so they want to try it. Also, nicotine is so addictive. It's very addictive, especially to kids of this age because they just, their brains are still developing. And so that's very addictive to them. And also there's so many different flavors that I've discovered that they can make the vapes in, so that's kind of drawing them in as well. Nicotine is very harmful to the developing brain, and cigarette smoking leads to so many diseases. It is the top cause of preventable deaths in the world, in fact, when I was doing research. So, and then nicotine that is inhaled affects every single part of the body, every single organ. So my nursing problem for my community project is the lack of education surrounding the dangers of nicotine consumption. I don't think that our students realize they have not had proper education on what nicotine is doing to their body. And so the students become addicted before they even know it, and they may find it very difficult to step out of that lifestyle and be able to get away from that. So my needs for my nursing problem are the children ages 14 to 18 need the facts surrounding vaping, what it's doing to their body. They need to be educated on what their nicotine consumption is doing to them. I don't think that they realize that. And given the age of the focused population at Howe High School, they're not able to make decisions. That's why legally you cannot buy alcohol products until you're older, is because you are not able to understand the importance of that nicotine consumption. So my goal for my community project is that the students at Howe High School would stop their vaping, or at least lessen and think about what they're doing to their body before they consume nicotine. And by educating the students about their health issues that are surrounding vaping, that we could get them to be successful at quitting and even influence their family and their parents who are smoking as well, and just have them stop so we can all lead a better and healthier lifestyle. So I do have a quote here from the CDC has an Empowered Vape-Free Youth campaign that they have. And so this campaign encourages high school students and educators to speak with students about the risk of e-cigarettes and just the nicotine addiction and what it's actually doing to them. So my plan for my community project is education. That's going to be the top thing. We're going to have to do school-wide education. We're going to have to do individual education to one-on-one students. And then we're also going to need some policy change. I did do an interview with one of the vice principals at Howe High School, and I also did some community volunteer time with the Howe School nurse, and they both say that there's really not a policy that talks about nicotine and vaping. Now, it is in the student handbook, and it's something that they have to sign that they read and they understand that they will not be vaping on campus. But there's not really a policy around trying to educate the students about vaping and nicotine use and its addiction. So that is something that I would like to have some education and policy changes that go into effect with that. So I also did a tour of the high school. There are currently no posters hanging in the walls, or no resources, or no hotlines to call. So I would, want to make some resources available visibly by the water fountains, by the restrooms, where the students hang out, so that they can know that there is help out there. There is resources that they can get to quit their addiction of vaping. And also we would need to send flyers home with the students. We would need to have those in English and Spanish so that we could reach the entire community, and other languages if needed. So we would have to have those available and translated and things like that, so that we could send them home with the students. Also put it out on the social media sites, the Facebook site for the school, the website that you see right there when you click on the Howe School site. And then try to do a school-wide assembly. So possibly bring in a speaker and have them speak directly to the kids so that they can put a face one-on-one with someone who has had bad side effects from vaping or from nicotine usage, and let them see, let them ask questions, let them know and put a face that this really is a problem, not just something that they talk about, and not just something that we see a commercial for, but this really has affected actual people. So a statistic that I have here is that studies show that close to 90% of adult smokers started smoking before the age of 18. And that is a staggering statistic. Now is the time that we need to get these kids. Now is the time that we need to educate them in this targeted group of ages 14 to 18, because once they graduate and they go on, chances are they're going to be addicted to nicotine for the rest of their life. So we have to try to get them early. So some of the things that I would do for implementing my program is, again, start focus with education, arrange with school officials to pass out flyers, to pass out education about vaping and nicotine, to work with the school to arrange for an outside speaker to come in, somebody that we could have come and speak to the students and that they all have to hear that. And then just to print posters and there are a lot of free ones. I have in the yellow box here. The cdc.gov website has amazing resources. They have videos that you can show in class. They have flyers. They have things that you can hand out. They have posters. I mean, all of these resources are available, pamphlets and everything. They have different games that you can play with the students to try to get them educated about the dangers of nicotine and vaping. So we would need to just hang those around and just let the students know that there are resources to help them. If they're already addicted to nicotine, that there are resources. There are hotlines you can call. There is gum that you can get. There are things that you can get that will help you to break that nicotine addiction as well. So some barriers that I thought would be to the program being implemented is maybe the resources. We can't print those. It's going to cost too much money. And that's a possibility. So we may have to come up with, can we get a grant? Can we get someone to donate these resources? Things like that. And then just the long-term upkeep of the program. Someone is going to have to take it on, is going to have a heart about it to do this year and year and year after year, because they're always getting new students into the district. They're always getting incoming freshmen that are going to be coming in. So they're going to need to continue this and not just do it a one-time thing once a year and be done. And then so evaluation of the project. This was something that I kind of struggled with, because evaluation of this project I think will be a little bit tough. So I thought about doing questionnaires and surveys being filled out by the students, either on paper or maybe like an online, like SurveyMonkey or something like that. So just to kind of, are they getting the education? Are they understanding the effects of nicotine and what it does to their body? So just a one-on-one evaluations. We could even make it for a grade, an easy grade that they could get, 100 on a paper. And then just possibly trying to do maybe some individual interviews and just sit down with the students and say, do you think it was effective? What can we do different? Can we do videos instead of papers? Just speak with them and say, what would you like to see? What do you think that your people that are in your school will respond to? And just try to, evaluate how well we think and what can we do in the future to help the project be more beneficial to the students. So here are my resources. I did get some data off of the HAL Texas website and a lot of data off of cdc.gov. Like I said, they have amazing resources. They have resources that will teach educators how to educate students about vaping, how to educate parents how to overcome their nicotine addiction. There's videos, there's games, there's pamphlets. Everything is free on that website, so it's an amazing resource. And then I also did use a journal article that talked about the epidemic of adolescents vaping, and that was a really good article to read as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your feedback on my project. Thank you.